No amount of money can restore the damage caused by the transatlantic slave trade and its consequences, which have spanned many centuries.
Ghana's President Nana Akufo-Addo has called for a united front with African leaders on demands for reparations for transatlantic slavery and colonial-era damages. Recently, a few Western governments have taken steps to acknowledge the wrongs done to Africa during the colonial era, and museums have started to return artifacts and treasures that were stolen from Africa. However, the idea of making monetary amends for a trade that involved the shipping of millions of slaves from West and Central Africa is still unclear. During his speech to the UN General Assembly this year, Ghana's leader made a strong case for reparations and more recognition of the effects of colonial exploitation. The harm brought about by the transatlantic slave trade and its aftermath cannot be repaired with money. However, this is a problem that the world needs to address and can't ignore anymore, Akufo-Addo stated on Tuesday in Accra during a reparations meeting with African leaders. Even before these discussions on reparations conclude, the entire continent of Africa deserves a formal apology from the European nations involved in the slave trade, he stated. In order to achieve reparations, Akufo-Addo urged Africa to collaborate with the Caribbean, calling it a valid demand for justice. African Union chairperson and president of the Comoros, Azali Assoumani, referred to slavery and colonialism as Africa's dark phase, and stated that their effects are still being felt, wreaking havoc in our population. Frank-Walter Steinmeier, the president of Germany, voiced his shame over crimes carried out in Tanzania during his nation's colonial period earlier this month. The proprietor of the British newspaper, The Guardian, apologized earlier this year for the part its forebears played in the transatlantic slave trade and declared a decade-long program of restorative justice in the wake of an independent investigation. The restoration of stolen artifacts and valuables has made steady progress, even while the discussion over compensation for slavery is still in its early stages. Nigeria is currently returning thousands of metal plaques, sculptures, and other artifacts that date from the 16th to the 18th centuries, which were taken from the ancient kingdom of Benin and ended up in museums and the collections of art collectors in the US and Europe. A large number of the artifacts were first removed during the attack and destruction of Benin City by a British military expedition in 1897. After 2 years of negotiations, Nigeria's neighbor Benin opened an exhibition last year featuring artwork and antiquities returned by France. What do you think about President Nana Akufo-Addo asking the West to pay for slave trade? Tell us what you think in the comment section, and please do not forget to like and subscribe for more informative videos like this one.